Hello and welcome to this week's See You Next Thursday. On a week that Eric Ten Hag has guaranteed that Man United will reach the top four, even if he has to write the song himself. This week we have Ed 4-3. Oh, sorry, did I mention 4-3? Oops, I mean Seamus O'Deep's the luck ender, and our very own Sport Billy Ed 25. How are you guys?
I'm fine, and good morning, good evening, should I say, to all our listeners, if there's any out there. Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
What about you, Seamus?
Well, I was doing fine enough until you decided to rub some salt on the wounds, the fresh wounds.
I never get your number right. It's just, it's just a simple error. That's all it is. It's just forgetful, bad memory, mate. That's all.
No, it's just that you're lucky that no one actually cares enough about Europa League, and it happens 1 week.
Yeah,
it's already 1 week gone since your last result. When we do this, no one remembers it. It's an inconsequential.
really.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's just inconsequential.
Every team on the continent absolutely thinks it's massive. Just ask West Ham fans who won the Conference League how big, how important it is to win a competition. Have you heard them every match? I hear them singing, "We're the champions of Europe," and you're thinking, "No, you're not. You're not the champions of Europe. You fucking idiots." But,
And I can't stop singing.
You do realize that I have to travel thousands of miles before I actually can meet a West Ham supporter. They're just like Europa League, inconsequential.
No, it's better not to meet any West Ham supporters. I know quite a few, and you're better not knowing any. Trust me.
I just can't stop singing "Wonderful, Wonderful Copenhagen" because it just keeps going through my mind all day.
Is that a real
What
song?
a great result that was. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful Copenhagen, salt your girl of the sea. Yeah, that's a song, yeah.
Very old sounding. Or is that just...
It is an old song. It is. That means it's too old.
Yeah, that sounds older than you, and let's hear something. Anything else to mention before we get started?
No, that's fine.
You don't want to get any more digs in? I'm sure we've got a few.
No, that's it. I've had me dig it today.
Damn. I was thinking we could have a few more here. I should have lined up a bunch of them, shouldn't I? It's only because he asked not to that I'm bothered. Otherwise, if he hadn't said in the WhatsApp thing about
No, I didn't ask. I didn't ask you to not do it. I'm saying you're
gonna have... What was it you said? I'm gonna check it now. What did you actually say?
Pour some salt, rub some salt, something like that. Yeah.
You said
plan on pouring more salt. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like that's asking for it, mate. When you say something stupid like that, you're gonna get it, aren't you? That's just asking for it, begging to be teased.
No. You're just trying to seem like this is just all an act. You're just trying to seem like, oh, you're considerate and you wouldn't have done it. You're a fucking Liverpool supporter. You probably enjoyed that result more than you enjoyed Liverpool's successes last weekend.
Successes are far more important. If only we had it
No.
last weekend.
No. Yeah, last weekend.
Oh, we were so bad. But anyway, we'll get to that later. Let's start off with the first game of the weekend. And here you go. You can cheer yourself up, Seamus, and tell us how the mighty Manchester United hammered the great and strong Fulham side into the ground with a 1-0 victory.
Yeah. Captain Marvelous scored the goal.
Yeah. Got man of the match as well, though apparently, from what I saw, that was the only good thing he did.
He got in Team of the Week in the BBC. As you know, how he got that, I don't know. I think he's bloody awful, but there you go.
He really did. I don't know. Did you watch it, Seamus? Considering I know you don't always watch them because you...
You know the whole reason
remember
why,
whether you said
like, what
something.
happened? I was, like I told you, I was about to tune in. Then I saw that McTominay
Yes,
scored. I
that's
was
right.
like, okay, then I can't watch it now since we're
That's
leading and
right.
I'm
You
not watching.
texted me
Then 5 minutes later, I check and it's been ruled out for an offside.
because you didn't switch it on. If you'd have switched it on, I'd have stood.
No, but it's Maguire. He can't catch a break.
Oh, he can. Trouble is,
It's a
trouble is,
keep. It's a
it'd be
keeper that can't
outside.
catch the break.
Yeah.
No, he can't catch a ball. No, no. Whatever can't catch a ball, there's a difference.
Now, I watched the
Sorry.
game and I thought Fulham were probably the better side out of the two. Or is that me being biased? I thought they had the better chances. Thought they played better football than Manchester United. And I thought United were very lucky to get the win. I thought a draw would have probably been fair. But, you know, they got a win. Good luck to them. It was quite a good finish. A few rebounds here and there, but, you know, it's a good strike from the edge of the box by Bruno. Don't know how good the goalkeeper was, though. It seemed to go in a little bit slow. But, you know, credit to them. Going away to, after the turbulent season they've had to now, going away to Fulham and getting the results is not a bad thing by them.
Yeah, I know Fulham are crap, but like it's the way they beat the form they've been showing, the way they've been playing. It's still, it did seem like it might have even been a turning point for the season until obviously last night.
Yeah. Yeah, they're still well short, though, aren't they, United, when you look at them? I don't know how Deeps feels, but, you know, they don't play like a team. I've been saying all season, they're more a team, a gang of individuals who are playing football and not very good football at the moment. I don't know. They'll have to change players. For me, they have to get better players in. I think some of them are not performing up to their capabilities, and I think Ten Hag's got big problems there. I don't think he's going to sort it out in next window or the window after that. But it is his team now, and most of the players he's got now, he wants to be there. So it's a little bit, of a downer on him that it's his team and it's not producing the goods at the moment.
I think he'll actually have another 2 windows because I can't see him. It depends on if Ratcliffe steps in.
Yeah.
I think that's him gone, isn't it?
It could well be. I think that could be a deciding factor. Go on, Tips.
Like, if indeed Ratcliffe's offer gets through and he gets control of the club, whether or not Ten Hag sees the season out or not, I think his influence on the club is gonna diminish massively.
I think a lot depends on how willing he is to work with the therapeutic use exemptions. So that's what will decide his future. Because obviously with Brailsford coming in, they'll have to. It's how many cheats you can get into the team. Obviously, I mean.
But with Brailsford, Chris, his Ineos Grenadiers, the cycling team hasn't done as well recently. There's 3 big budget teams and they're comfortably the third best, without even threatening the top 2 teams. So I was hearing rumblings that maybe Brailsford is gonna oversee the cycling team again because he had relinquished control of that side.
It's amazing how they fall away when they haven't got access to all the TUEs he used to get them. Strange, isn't it? Anyone would think they help.
But also the British cyclists have magically become a lot less exceptional. They've become a lot less superhuman now. The newer breed.
It's strange about the drugs. They just don't seem as good. I mean, who'd have thought it? Who would have thought it? Hey, Bill, it's just such a shock, isn't it?
Do you know what? Rashford's having a bad time with it, though, isn't he? He's not playing.
With respect.
Well, I don't know.
Marcus, I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was going to say his brother certainly is as well. But like, was it his wife or some random girl on holiday with him? So that's the one thing I
I'm
don't
not
know. I
sure.
know they're trying to trace her, because they were worried she left the country, which obviously is something she shouldn't be doing. After the...
Right.
Oh, sorry, for those of you who are wondering, Marcus Rashford's brother has become the latest person connected with Man United to be arrested for domestic violence in the US as well. It seems to be quite a common theme, really, oddly. So, yeah. Yeah, sorry. So get back to the football. Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, I think he's been awful this season. Always been a big fan of the lad. I think he's a nice lad. I think he's a talented player. But he's not producing the goods for Man United this season, that's for sure. Does he need time out? I think he might do. I don't know what's happened with him. His body language doesn't look great to me. And I really like the guy. You know, I think he's a good person as well. And I want him to do well, and he hasn't been this season. He's carried United at times last season with the goals he scored, and he's just not hitting them heights at the moment. And I'm wondering why. Is he unhappy at the club? He looks unhappy. His body language tells me that he's not happy. And I think that's a big problem for Man United, because I think he's the talisman of the club when he's playing well. I think he's the outlet. He's the man who gets the goals. He frightens defenders. But this season, he just hasn't been at it at all. And I think something's wrong. There's something wrong in Man United anyway. But I think that's one of the reasons that Marcus Rashford's not happy.
Do you think any part is being played by the fact that he's the scapegoat every time they don't win? It's always his
It
fault.
does seem that way. Yeah, it does seem that way, Tris. He gets a lot of stick on social media over it. And people are saying he's more interested in his off-field antics rather than when he's playing. And that's been said quite a few times, that he's more enthused, shall we say, by what he does off the pitch rather than on it. His charity work and, the kids' meals thing that he done. And I don't know, I'm not buying into that one little bit. I think he's not happy with the way the team are playing. I don't think it suits him, the way they're playing. They're not moving the ball fast enough. They're not getting him involved in the game as much as they should. And, I might be a bit biased because I'm a Rashford fan, but he's not playing well and he's not getting the service from me. I don't think the midfield's good enough to supply him. And it's just not good at the moment at Manchester United, and it's affecting Rashford more than anyone else, in my opinion.
What do you think?
There's also the small issue of his contract running out.
He just
It's
signed
just,
a new one.
no, it's still not been completely confirmed.
I thought he
I ju-
actually announced it on his social media now.
Oh, okay. But I just checked Transfermarkt and it's not been updated, so that's an issue. Maybe like his brother who acts as his agent getting into trouble. Maybe that's been like bubbling under the surface for quite some time. Maybe I'm just speculating. I'm just trying to find some other reasons for his form to have suddenly taken a downturn.
Yeah. How do you think he's done this season, Peeps?
Horrendous. He's been horrendous.
Yeah, I think he has as well, yeah.
Can
Can you put your finger on why?
I'm not sure.
Can you put your finger on why?
Has he been horrendous? I'd say Havertz is what you call being horrendous, or Onana has been horrendous. But
No, Onana has been symbolic.
yeah, Onana's been Onana. That's the thing. This is how he plays. I don't understand why people are so surprised. He was the same every time I've seen him. He's always been like this.
Yeah, but like you said, Havertz. I didn't expect Havertz to like pull up any trees or anything. I expected Marcus to be like scoring
Yeah,
goals and
definitely.
contributing positively to the team. And he's, if I'm being honest, he's been a negative for the team
Yeah.
He doesn't look like,
At
yeah.
times. So it's
But some of the things that people are complaining about, it just seem like they're just having a dig at him for no reason when he's actually, things that he isn't actually doing wrong. If you see what I mean,
no,
like,
like if you have English footballers and you have a skill, one is Sterling and another is Grealish.
hmm.
Rashford is pretty close to Sterling and far away from Grealish. Do you understand what the skill is?
Yeah,
Diving?
go on.
Can't catch a break.
Oh, yeah.
No, even when they even when Sterling does something nice, it gets spun around into a negative thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
it
true.
really does. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it happened. Like there is genuine proof as well. Sterling buying his mama house was portrayed negatively in the media. That guy
Yeah.
deserves an award, but that actually genuinely did happen. I'm not just trying to make an argument or anything. You can
Yeah.
find articles on internet even now.
Yeah, he was slagged off,
And
and all
Grealish,
it was is
yeah,
about the
and
cost of
Grealish,
it, how much it cost, and all this kind of thing.
yeah, like and Grealish being semi-drunk even till now is seen as a positive thing.
Yeah. Yeah, even when he makes comments about not being able to train properly, like Haaland and live clean and all that. Even when he makes comments about not being able to live professionally, it just gets spun as, oh, what a great lad he is, Grealish. I don't understand it.
Yeah, lovely fella.
Sarcasm beneath your belt.
No, actually, he actually seems to be a nice fella, Grealish, outside of
But
football.
he's just thick as fuck. Let's be honest. That's all it is. And he's really stupid. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but he
He
seems to
wasn't.
be a nice guy at heart.
Mm.
Actually, that is something I think I should mention because I give him a tough time. I have like my impression is actually he's a nice guy, but we're not judging
He, wa-
him just on his niceties. He's
he
a
wasn't such a
professional
nice guy.
athlete.
He wasn't such a nice guy in lockdown when he took the car home when he was drunk and wrecked 6 cars in the street where he was having the party. He wasn't such a nice guy then, was he? So
That's
I
what
don't know
Like
much
we said,
about him,
he's
to be honest
thick.
with
that's why we were
Like
saying
we
he's
said, he's
stupid.
thick
Yeah.
as fuck.
Yeah, he's an imbecile. Anyone with a brain wouldn't have done that. But he's a moron.
you. I think he's a bit of a dickhead. Yeah, I really do. You know, he's not a bad player. He's a bit of a show pony, but you know,
He's
Jack
big.
Grealish has got the same brain mentality as Ross Barkley. They're very similar in all the things they do off the pitch, stupid things. But that might just be me.
No, I'm with you on that. But like I said, it's stupidity, I think, in his case.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not saying he's not a nice guy, but it's just stupid things, you know.
Mm. Yeah, it's things that you really wish he wouldn't do, and then you could then it might make him less easy to hate. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, yeah.
should we,
But getting back to your United
yeah.
game, did you watch it, Trish? Did you watch it then?
I did watch it, but I had friends round, so it was kind of like I was half. I was watching it while with playing with the kids and that, like, so it's kind of
No,
like it was
I
only
wouldn't
I wasn't
want
fully
to be
concentrated.
I wouldn't want to be those friends. You chose to watch Manchester United over them. What kind of friends are they?
No, it's just on in the back. I just had it on the tab because the app I use won't work on the TV anymore. It only works on the tablet or phone. So I just had the tablet on in the background. The kids were watching Master and Bear on the TV, like, and we were just playing. So
I bet you had a better time than I did watching Man United and Fulham.
I've got to say, I spent more time watching Master and Bear than but I do quite like that. But shh, don't tell anyone. I don't know if you've seen that.
What's
This kids' TV program
No,
is
no.
brilliant.
Yeah, but getting back to Man United, can it get much worse for us? Can it get much
Yeah.
worse?
Ask Chelsea. I said this to you before we started, just before Billy turned up, saying it could get a lot worse. Just ask Chelsea. You've got to win there. You know what I mean? It's stop the rot. So you've now got a chance to turn it around, but you
What
have to
rot?
take it.
What rot are you on about? If we're just gonna talk results, then like I said, we came into that derby with 3 wins on the trot.
I mean, you know, it's the performances. So as soon as you lose one, it hits normally. You know, with a team like when you're playing badly and you're picking up results, that's fine so long as you keep picking up results. The moment you stop picking up results, usually it causes a real the team actually start. You know, it's like and they fall apart a bit. You know what I mean? As long as you keep picking up the results, and then eventually you suddenly, you get your performances up as well. For on the back of it, then that's fine. But if you're playing badly and then you're not winning, that's when you start hitting real bad trouble. Like Chelsea were last season. They just weren't performing, and they weren't, and then the results didn't go for them, and it all just fell apart for them early. But because you picked up a result there before it could, turn into like a problem. You played better football for part of it. You look like, and you were looking better against Copenhagen as well at the start. So it looks like you could have. That's what I was meaning by stop the rot. You were looking like you were playing better football for a bit. But
Well, now we just need Hoyland to start scoring in the league as well.
Yeah.
Still not open the account. Top scorer in the Champions League. No goals in the league.
that's good news.
Still
Diaz's
I can
dad's
win
just
for
been
Holland.
released.
Sorry.
Diaz's dad's been released apparently. Good news.
Oh, I see. Oh, good.
Luis Diaz's dad.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, good. That's good news anyway.
yeah, that's really good news. So if it's true, I'm trying to find for sure. Oh, he's making that's impressive. Yeah,
I was gonna say round of applause, but yeah, that's.
yeah, it seems to be true. They're all saying it's. I assume.
Oh, good.
I hope so. Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, where were we?
We
We're
can
going
move
to our
to
next
the
game.
next game. Yeah, Brentford, West Ham.
Yeah. Did anybody watch this one?
Yeah. I watched bits of it, yeah. Seen the highlights and that of it. And Brentford deserved to win, to be honest with you. A bit shabby. They're going through a bit of a bad stage, West Ham, at the moment. Everton beat them the week before last. Brentford beat them this week. And
Nice one, Billy.
Yeah.
You just
they both
wanted
deserve
to.
to beat them. They both deserve to beat them. You'd think slightly lesser teams than West Ham. And they both got good results against them because West Ham are in a bit of a false position by the looks of it. They started off the season really well, up there in 4th or 5th, and they're starting to drop a bit now. Is that the Moyes effect? Is it
No. You know when it turned. It turned when Michael Antonio went on his podcast and said that they were gonna overtake Liverpool. They were gonna show Liverpool their level. It's gone downhill since then. Yeah, it's gone downhill for them since then.
And he's been abysmal as well all season. It's all
Oh,
right.
he has, yeah.
But you have to be performing if you're going to give it some. If you're going to open your mouth and gob off, you have to at least be in form.
He missed a sitter as well to got them a draw, and he took it right away from the other player coming in, and he was furious. I can't think of it. Might have been Ben Rama or someone like that, and he took the golden goal off him and put it wide. And West Ham weren't good, but to be fair, what I seen of it, Brentford were by far the better side, and that could have been could have been easily been 4-1. You know what I mean? It was 2-1, but could have been 4-1. And
It was
It
3-2.
was 3-2.
oh, sorry, 3-2. Yes, I'm sorry, knew there was a goal in it. Yeah, you're right. And yeah, they could have scored more. And I thought Brentford were by far the better side in that game.
That
Did you watch the
Wolves
Chelsea?
was good. Well,
I'm
Sorry,
trying to
Deeks.
remember. I kind of. I think I'm trying to remember. Was that the 3? Wasn't that a 3 o'clock kickoff? I thought.
Yeah. I watched it on the highlights program. Yourself.
No, so I didn't watch. I'm trying to remember which game I watched. I didn't watch Man City Bournemouth. That's for sure. What games were on? Was it Sheffield United? It might have been Sheffield United Wolves. Maybe I think I watched.
All right.
So no, I didn't watch. I didn't watch Brentford West Ham. It didn't really appeal to me, to be honest.
No, it wasn't a bad game. I'm not saying it was a bad game. It's pretty end-to-end stuff. But they went at the races, West Ham, for a lot of that. I know they went up 2-1, did they? I think they went up 2-1, and they won their behind, went up 2-1, and then got beat 3-2. But I didn't think they were very good. They scored a couple of nice goals, but they're not a side who you think are going to, beat a lot of teams. The way they set up, if you know what I mean. They just a bit wishy-washy for me, which I believe Moyes does to a side. And I'm not picking on David Moyes specifically, but they are a bit of a negative side at times. And I don't know whether they're good enough to keep up the decent start they had. Well, they're definitely not, because they dropped now. And I just don't think they're a side who are going to take points off the bigger teams. Brentford, I expected them to get a result at Brentford. I put them down for the draw. But I didn't think they were great, to be honest with you. Did you watch the game, Deeps?
no.
You wouldn't watch that game, would you, anyway?
It wasn't so. It wouldn't have been so near, anyways.
No.
Wow.
It's World Cup season, Billy. It's the same broadcasters that saw the Premier League and World Cup, so you can imagine it's mostly.
All right.
World Cup.
Absolutely.
Is that some of the World Cup?
Yeah, the proper one.
The cricket one and the rugby one with it.
It was Man City Bournemouth that was so near, and we'll get to that later.
All right.
Okay, should we move on to the next one then?
Go on.
Burnley Crystal Palace. I didn't get
Never watched that game.
But
No one watched it.
yeah, nobody.
I know
really
it counts
watched
on the
that.
table, but I would need 11 guess. I would need 11 guesses to find out, like, to guess correctly who scored 2 goals.
I don't know. I know they want to now, but yeah, Burnley, they're going through a bad phase. Burnley, aren't they? They look an awful side at the moment, and I think Company's really riding his luck to still be in a job at the moment, and it wouldn't surprise me if he was the next one out the door if Ten Hag doesn't beat him to it.
The only reason he's still got a job, in my opinion, must be something to do with they must have some kind of deal with Man City, to take all their players. It's got to be, because otherwise he'd have been sat long ago, because it's clear he hasn't got a fucking clue what he's doing in the Premier League. And it's just, his tactics are just appalling.
Yeah. Tippy tappy at the back. What's all that about it when you're a struggling side? You've got to put your foot in and get rid of the ball, get it up to your forwards as quick as possible. But they don't look a good side at all. They could actually be worse than the other 2 teams who come up. Really?
Yeah, considering they waltzed away with the championship.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't look good at all. And as I say, I think he is right in line to be the first one. Yeah, well, the next one out, should I say. As you say, has he got a hold over them? Has he got a deal with Manchester? He'll bring the players from Manchester City, and that's the deal in place at the moment, and they'll keep him in the job. I don't know. Guessing.
I can't see any other reason to keep. Can you, Seamus?
Maybe they just want him to be around for when they again get relegated and try and come back with him.
That seems strange because the minute you come back up, you're going to have to get rid of him anyway, aren't you? Otherwise, you're going straight back down again. It's kind of like accepting.
Yeah.
No, but they have, like, whether the players come good or not, they have invested in youth talent, so maybe that's their opinion on this thing. But for all the hype he had when he took Burnley up, I must say I've been really disappointed with Company and Burnley. He's not shown any signs.
No,
No,
not
David
yeah,
David Wagner and Daniel Farke looked better, and they were
Mm.
atrocious at the end.
Yeah, I don't hold much hope for Burnley to stay up. I think they could be actually rock bottom, as I said before. They haven't got much at all going forward. The defence is trying to play football, which they can't play. And the keeper's not much up to much. I can't see a lot of positives for if I was a Burnley fan. That makes me think that they could survive this year, because I think they're doomed, absolutely doomed.
Yeah, they just look dead and buried and nowhere near good enough to even make a fight of it the way they're going.
Yeah, they're not fighting for it. That's one of the biggest problems. If you're not good enough, you usually put in more effort. They don't seem to be putting in the effort either, so that's just me looking at Burnley as a bad side. Could be that.
No, I think you're right. They don't look like they're trying. They're trying to do. They're not even trying to do anything different. Trying to change
Mix it
anything.
up,
They're
yeah.
just sticking with the same thing again and again and again, no matter how badly it's going and how little it's working. Just carry on anyway. It's farcical. Should we move on then to the next game? And
Go on,
this
Nick.
one really uninteresting. I don't think we need to talk about this one for long. Everton versus Brighton and Hove Albion. 1-1 draw.
Well, I'd like to talk about it for long. I watched the whole of that game, and
Before you go on, Billy, can I just say one thing? Couldn't you have just kept a clean sheet? We would have been above Brighton in the table had you done so.
Yeah, we couldn't keep it. It's unlucky not to keep a clean sheet, by the way, but that's football for you. But should I tell you how the game went first? Everton had something like 27% of the possession, which you're going to do against Brighton. They're a very good team at passing the ball. The only thing with them is they pass it sideways and play it back a lot, so they're going to have more possession. And Everton, for me, done the right thing. Let them have as much possession as they wanted. They've done absolutely nothing with it. And they never really had many chances to score. A couple of half chances they had. And they had a goal disallowed, Lewis Dunk, which looked a really good goal, actually, but he was offside by a bootlace or something, and which was unlucky for them. But Everton looked more threatening in the odd attack they had than what they did. Now, I know we were at home. A lot of supporters are complaining that we should be more expansive at home. We should attack teams. I don't agree. With the skill set that our players have got, you've got to play to your strengths. And our strength is to let them out the ball and counter-attack. And I was quite happy the way we set up. And as much as Brighton are nice to watch on the ball, they're not very effective at all. And, we beat them 5-1 last year, and the last game, and then 1-1 this time for a fluky goal. Hit Young's knee, flew over Pickford, who wasn't great, by the way, at the goal. And it was a 1-1 draw. So Everton were a bit unlucky in that sense, even though people weren't happy the way Everton never attacked more. But I wasn't. I thought we had the game plan that we executed there was perfect for Everton against a team like Brighton. They've got a better skill set, and we just let them have the ball. They've done absolutely nothing with it, and Everton were unlucky for me.
Now, when you're playing a team like Brighton, I don't see the issue with letting them have the ball and playing to your strengths. It's if you're playing Burnley, you can attack them and go at them and try and force them into errors. When you're playing Brighton, you're better off letting them, letting them play it around because they don't go nowhere for most of the game. Not like they used to. And when he first came,
yeah.
Well, I was thinking when De Zerbi first came in, they were much better.
Oh, right, yeah.
They're going backwards at a fast rate of knots. I think you actually come away from that, and I can understand. I can hear it in your voice as well, and the way you're talking. The only disappointment is that you didn't actually win that game because you feel like you deserved to.
Well, I think we did. I think we had the better chances. They had something like 24 chances, but none of them were good chances. A shot from 40 yards that Pickford easily picked up. Couple of balls into the box that went nowhere. They had loads of the ball. They were passing it really smartly, but going absolutely nowhere. When we attacked, we looked like we'd score a few more. We never. And that's a point that you've got to bring up as well. We didn't give them, we give them a bit too much respect, people are saying. But I thought the game plan was executed perfectly, and I thought Sean Dyche deserves a lot of credit for not kowtowing to these people who want you to attack all the time at home. We haven't got the skill set for that. We have got to, ours is all about points and playing to our strengths. And we work hard. And Jared Brandthwaite again was excellent. And it would surprise me if he was called up to the England squad. Because while he's picking people like Maguire, Jared's not going to get a chance in the England side. But he played really well and has been outstanding this season. Will we keep hold of him? I doubt it. I think someone like Man City or someone like that will come in for him and offer good money. I don't think you wouldn't want to go down. He wants to progress.
Money talks, Billy. He may not challenge for the league immediately, but he will get money. It's financially crippled Everton to a financial juggernaut like Man United. So I would say like 25 times more money.
Yeah.
But easier 10,000.
Yeah, but
he's still on 10,000.
FFP issues, so.
Yeah, but he's going to replace Maguire. Come on.
Speaking of which, Everton's FFP, the rumour is they're going to get a suspended ban and a fine.
That's right, I've heard that as well, Chris, yeah. Is that a forerunner to what no, I'm happy with that, of course I am. But is that a forerunner to the Manchester City one that's coming through? If they give Everton 12 points, it works out for one breach. It means that Man City would have to get docked 1,720 points for 115 breaches.
Quick math, Billy!
Strip him of all the titles.
Yeah. So is that the carrot that they dangled the Football League and the Premier League? We weren't so harsh with Everton. It's going to be suspended for so long and at a fine that we can't give Manchester City that because we already set a precedent with Everton because their breach, we never took points off them, so we can't do it off Man City. That's in the back of my mind, but that might just be me being nasty minded.
No, they'll go soft. I mean, if they've given them if they have given them a fine, that just makes absolutely no bloody sense whatsoever. I really
Absolutely, I
never
couldn't agree with you
understand
more.
that at all. It should never be a financial penalty for a team when for a financial breach. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I expected, to be honest with you, I expected a transfer embargo, maybe 3 points, but maybe, or 6 points deduction, but not this season. I think it'd have to go to next season because of the timeline. But I think I'm a bit sceptical about if that is going to be the truth, what we've heard and what's coming on the grapevine. But, if it is that, I'm just a bit sceptical about whether it's done for other reasons rather than to let Everton off the hook a bit, But
Yeah.
But whatever the punishments are, I think Everton would and should be hoping to get all those done in this season only because even
Yeah.
a 6 point ban is gonna keep you outside the relegation zone.
I expect so as well, by the way.
Yeah, you could lose 6 points. You could right now lose 6 points and still be above the relegation
Yeah.
zone. So
Yeah, I think
exactly.
you're right. Yeah, if you wanted to lose them, it'd be this season, wouldn't it? If you wanted to have a bang, it'd be this season because there's 4 teams down there who look a lot worse than Everton. And, my prediction at the start of the season was 12th, which was a bit, a bit strange, people would say.
ambitious.
A bit ambitious, the way I was looking for, a bit ambitious. But at the moment, I think we could actually get around that position, 12th, 13th, because there are a lot worse teams than Everton in the division at the moment. And I'm quite happy the way it's going at Goodison at the moment. And I'd like it to go so that we got to Bramley Moor in a decent position and try and build from there. That's what I'm hoping. Stadium's coming on fantastic. By the way, I don't know if anyone's seen it on YouTube. It's the flyovers. It looks absolutely fantastic. And the funding for that's secured. And it'd be nice to start off without being in a relegation dogfight and maybe get a couple more players and try and progress from there. That's on Everton's behalf, by the way, for them to, try and get back up there, try and be a top 6 side, which I think Everton could be with the right management, the right behind the scenes people, and a better chairman and a better finance director, But that's just me speculating there because, I'm an Evertonian, obviously. But it'd be nice if the club did get off to a good foot and had a good season this season before we went to Bramley Moor. Yeah, it's all good at the moment for Everton. A lot of good things are coming out of Everton at the moment. The players who have come in have done well, like Jared Brantwaite, like James Garner. Onana started to pick up his form. I wasn't a big fan of his. And he started to link with Garner in the midfield. James Garner, that is. Really well. Dominic Calvert-Lewin coming back's been a massive plus. And, Mikalenko's improved over the last few games as well. And we're starting to play like a side that I want Everton to play like, not expansive because we're not good enough to be expansive, but, really hard work and everyone giving their all. And that's what the main thing is for me for an Everton player to do. I'd sooner him give his all than be a show pony, but dead skillful. Because that's what it's all about, giving your all and getting the results for doing that. And that's, for me, is down to Sean Dyche, who I think's done a great job since he's been there. Not everyone's cup of tea, but I think he's done fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm was impressed with the result. Like I said, I do worry about Brighton. I think they're going backwards at a vast rate and I just wonder how long before people start to criticising De Zerbi rather than just talking about how wonderful he's been. Because they don't seem to be that wonderful to me. They seem to have gone backwards, but they're still, all you ever read is what a great coach De Zerbi is. And no one seems to have noticed that the good work was already in place before he took over.
Well, there was an article on the BBC website about with a couple of pundits who were saying that De Zerbi could be the next Manchester United manager because of the good things he's doing. And I thought,
no. Not Manchester United, Billy. I've been saying this to Chris. You shouldn't criticize De Zerbi too much because there is a chance that he's the next Man City manager. I want to see that happen.
Well, he was put forward by the BBC as being Manchester United's next manager on the article I was reading. And,
No. From the looks of it, the likely candidates for our next manager, should that happen, are Graham Potter and Ruben Amorim.
All right.
He looked good without a go, Amorim. He seems to have faded out of the limelight recently, doesn't he?
That, but also the fact that there's not been a big job opening for him, like a realistic job opening for him to go to.
That's a fair point.
The only realistic club was Tottenham, which didn't he actually reject Tottenham?
Yeah, he rejected them, didn't he? He was one of about 8, wasn't he, in the end?
Was he? Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, we all know that Postecoglou's now the greatest manager of all time because he's managed Tottenham to the top of the table for a week.
Typical Tottenham, yeah. We'll talk about that when we get to Tottenham. But again,
anyway, should we move on to the next game?
Yeah, go on, mate.
I don't think we need to talk much about this one. Man City, Bournemouth, 6-1 win. Bournemouth are just shite. Let's be honest. Bournemouth is shite and Man City just strolled it. That's it.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, what more do you need to say about? Can you think of anything to add to that, Bill?
No, mate. Haaland went off at half time. Didn't need him. They could have played the reserves and beat Bournemouth. They can drop players. They've got a good squad. We all know that. But they didn't have to be at the strongest to stroll in that game. And Bournemouth are a really bad side. And I don't know where they're going to go this season. If not down, they're going to be in real trouble. And I can't see no hope for them. They're one of the worst sides I've seen this year. They look awful. Man City, they've got a really good squad, as I was saying. They can bring players in, internationals. They're all internationals and really good players. And they've got far better on the bench than what Bournemouth have got as the first team. And it wasn't even a contest. It really wasn't.
I mean, let's be honest. Bournemouth were lucky to get 0, let alone 1.
Yeah. They would have been lucky to get 0.
Yeah. The fact they ended up with 1 is just incredible, really. It's far beyond their wildest dreams, I would think. They were shocking. They are an awful side. They really are. You got anything to add to this, Seamus?
Remember last week when you said Anthony makes you feel like there's still hope for you to be a professional footballer? That Bournemouth keeper, oh my God.
Fair point, yeah. He's even worse.
I've actually watched Onana play a few times this season. He makes Onana look like Alisson.
That's terrible. I don't know what the thinking is on even having him in the team. He makes no sense. The only one who comes close to as bad is that Jason Steele at Brighton.
I actually admire him a lot, but I've seen De Gea try to play from the back for 5 years now. That keeper makes De Gea look like the best one-playing keeper ever. I didn't watch the whole match, but because after a point it was pointless watching it. Man City were
Yeah.
already, it was like sealed and delivered their victory, so I tuned off halfway through that. He made 0 passes. Every time he kicked the ball, it was straight to a Man City player.
He really did, yeah.
Just
Poor lad, he was probably, maybe he was just having bad nerves playing against the treble winners, already being 2-3 goals down. But oh my god, I've not seen a worse performance for quite some time, and I support a club that employs Onana and Maguire,
That's a fair point.
Martial. I come from a team that that employs players that can't actually be called group professionals, and yet
Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah, I
certainly
think we all
took it up a
agree.
level. I
he's just
never.
looked out of his level, sadly.
No,
Sadly for
real
him.
trouble. If it wasn't that the three promoted sides are so bad this season, they'd already be, dead and buried by now. But
Yeah, they will be, yeah.
should we move on to the other 3 o'clock kickoff? Sheffield United, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now I did watch this one, and I got to say, once
Not
again,
again,
fucking
not
daylight
again.
robbery. Why is Wolves every single week having to get an apology from the officials, and yet it just
Ah,
carries on every time? I mean, how many times can an honest
you,
mistake be made without it being
you've been
clear there's
mentioning this for
cheating going on?
weeks. You've been mentioning it for weeks, Chris, about how unlucky they've been with
Yeah,
decisions. And again this week, my God, what have they got to do to get a bit of justice, Wolves? And
yeah. Talk
I
about
feel so
catching a
sorry
break.
for them, honestly. God, they do. They can't, as you say, they can't catch a break. They, they're playing some decent stuff as well, but it must be heartbreaking to get decisions like that every other week, what they've been getting.
Mm,
It's
I have.
demoralising, isn't it?
They've had something like an apology in more than half their games now, haven't they?
Yeah, I know
Not
they
by
were
much.
four for definite.
They've definitely had at least 5, which is half.
Oh, is it? Yeah, it was the five. I thought it was four, but yeah, bloody ridiculous, isn't it? Honest to God, the standard of refereeing is absolutely incredibly bad. But
Well,
that one again, that you can't give a penalty for that.
it just feels like I can't see it as it just feels like you just can't, not when you've got the VAR, unless you're cheating. You can't be that bad. No one can be. It's just
Yeah.
impossible.
But it brings it up again, doesn't it? The integrity of football again. We seem to be talking about it every week. But when you see decisions like that, you've got to say, are they mistakes they're making, or is it corruption? You've got to think like that. Can you make mistakes like that week in, week out, and be serious about the game's not corrupt? I don't know whether you can. But they seem to be on the fall guys every time, Wolves. And it's
No.
just not on,
It,
doesn't
it,
it?
you'd have to wonder what they've done to upset the PGMOL.
Yeah.
You just imagine their dartboard must be like just their dartboard. Instead of names, just have a Wolves, the Wolves team photo on it.
Oh, bloody
They've
hell. I feel
definitely
so sorry for
targeted
them.
them. I've never seen anything like this. And we heard Arteta throwing a stop later in the day when he really had no legs to stand on, considering what they got away with. But you just wonder how he has the cheek to complain when you look at Wolves and what they've had to put up with this season.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, I
can't.
feel sorry for Wolves.
Maybe it's a nice guy syndrome for them because Gary O'Neill doesn't make much of a noise around those decisions.
Yeah. That's a point, Stan, that's a
Imagine,
point.
imagine Pep or Klopp or obviously Arteta being on the receiving
Mm.
end of that.
Oh, they've been murdered. They've been murdered.
But to be fair, if Gary O'Neill was screaming blue murder every week, I wouldn't fucking blame him by now at this point.
No,
If he
I
start
wouldn't
after the
know.
first week, it's like, it's a one-off. It's okay, but this is at least 5 that I can think of off the top of my head that they've had to have an apology after an abysmally bad decision that everyone could see was the wrong decision at the time. There's just no way he should be screaming blue fucking murder because they're being targeted now.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel so sorry for them because they didn't deserve to lose it. They were the better side, to be honest. I mean, I know it's
They
only
were the better
Sheffield
side.
United, but you only beat what's in front of you, and then only if the officials let you. So yeah,
Yeah.
they was they must be really said they're lucky that they've got they've got everything in harmony there at the moment after the way the changes in the summer and that and the sales and all that, the mess they've been in, they're starting to pull together, and well, it just feels like
Yeah.
everything's going against them still anyway.
They could be 5 or 6 points better off, if they'd have had not had bad decisions against them. And for a team like Wolves, everyone's expecting them to have a bad season this year at the start because of the unrest at the club. And if they'd have been comfortably top half, you know what I mean, comfortably on, 7th or 8th probably, with an extra 6 points. And it just seems unfair, doesn't it, that teams like that are losing out. And if they did go on a bad run, you could see that they'd be deflated that much. The decisions going against them. I feel really sorry for Wolves. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, you just think sometimes, is it even worth bothering to turn up? Because you're just going to have everything go against you. What's the point? That could happen. That's what worries me with them, is it could just get to the point where they just think, oh, why fucking bother? What's the point? I mean, it really good. They're lucky that the bottom 4 are so bad that, it doesn't look like that. No matter what the officials do to try and hinder them, it doesn't look like they're going to slip into a relegation battle anytime soon. But
I think the PGMOL have had a few on Wolves to go down.
I really do think so. Honestly, I'm really beginning to wonder how much money they've placed on them to go down. Because the decisions against them are definitely just ridiculous. It's not like they're ones you could argue about. They're not even arguable.
No, they're not contentious decisions. They're absolutely wrong.
Yeah, there's not an argument. They're wrong. That's it. You just look at them and go, "That's a terrible decision." It's like, I just don't get it. Anyway, we'll poor bastards. Let's just move on to Newcastle, and we can. I mean, Havertz got to be a red card. How has he stayed on the pitch?
He was out of control.
Jumped in.
He was out of control. His foot was high, and he jumped in. If that isn't a sending off, then there's no sending off in football. You can't get sent off unless you break a fella's leg.
And then Arteta to have the cheek to complain after the game that the decisions were going against them, and it's embarrassing. I just think, somebody should just shut him up. Somebody should just gag him or something. How can you complain after that decision going your way, that they're all against you and it's all, you just accept that you got one there and get on with it, don't you?
Yeah, but to be fair to Arteta, Gimenez should have been sent off for that forearm smash he done as well. He should have went. They're a nasty side, Newcastle. They're very on the edge, and they're not the nicest side, to play against. They're a bit underhanded and they cheat as well. I've gone right off Newcastle as a football club, to be honest with you. The way they play act and the way they force themselves on the game. And I just thought the goal was a bad decision myself personally. I know it's subjective, but I don't know whether the ball was in. They said they couldn't say that it was in or out. And then the ball come over, was the offside. There was 2 men behind the goalkeeper and only 1 on the line, which is an offside. And there was a push. I can see why he's upset about the goal. Don't get me wrong, but they got the fair share as well. Arsenal, they ride the luck at times, and. If he's moaning about that, they could moan about that they should have been playing 10 men. Both sides could have been. There was 2 sendings off in that for me, and and none of them went. And then one goes against Wolves, and and he gives a penalty. It's just the refereeing standard again. I know we keep talking about it, and we shouldn't be, but the refereeing standards in the Premier League this year have been absolutely abysmal.
It's hard to believe
go
they
on,
could get
Tress.
worse. I was just going to say, it's hard to believe they could get worse from previous years, but somehow they manage it.
Yeah, I thought there was a few poor decisions in that game, and as I say, Newcastle played really on the edge, and I say I've gone off them as a team that I used to like to watch because of the despicable things they do on the pitch. But they're doing really well. They're getting good results. I think they're getting it by cheating, but they are getting results. And I was getting quite the plaudits for the way they're playing. Obviously not in Europe this year. Not the way it's going in Europe isn't great. But in the Premier League, they're one of the nastiest sides to play against, and as I say, I'm not a big fan of Newcastle United, but Arsenal, to say people are still saying that they're title contenders, they're not for me. They're not a really good side, Arsenal. Saka isn't playing very well at the moment, and it makes a massive difference to them. They haven't got the forward players that can hit teams. I don't think they're a very good side. Jorginho, how he gets his game, in midfield. Yeah. It's just beyond me that, he's not a good player at all. And he's got a nasty streak in him and all. So, I know they've been better for me because take points off both of them.
I just think, I was going to say, Arsenal, the problem is Arteta's tried to fix what wasn't broken and not fixed what actually was, what needed fixing. Again, it's not the first time he's done it either. He's been trying to do that since he took over, and he fiddles with things that don't need to be fiddled with, and doesn't work on what actually does need to be worked on. Yeah, if he hadn't had such huge amounts of money to spend, I think they'd be a mid-table side still. You know what I mean? They'd be outside the top 4.
Yeah, I don't see them as genuine title contenders myself. Just don't know about you.
No,
I don't think they're good enough. I don't think they got the personnel, to be honest with you. Unless they could change it in January and get a couple of players in. They desperately need a centre forward for me. I know you keep going on about Balogun. You should have kept Oldham. I don't know much about Balogun. I haven't seen much of him. But they definitely need a centre forward. And what you were saying before about Arteta fixing things that are not broken, he had one of the best centre-halves in the country last year, let him go on loan. Talking about centre-half, who was it just he let go? Oh, yeah. Saliba. And, that's the thing that Arteta does, and people are lauding him as, probably, the new Pep and all. Not for me. He's not the greatest manager. I don't know who Arsenal would get instead of him. That's my problem. I don't know who you could get to replace him, because what he's doing, he's not making them into the side that finished last year. I don't think they've improved to the side that they had last year. I don't think they're moving forward. I think they're going backwards, if anything.
Thing is, you say about challenging for the title. I think City are so far ahead of everyone else at the moment. It's theirs to lose rather than anybody else's to win. The only thing other teams can do is keep the pressure on them, I think, now, and hope that they falter.
Yeah, that'd be a fair point, yeah. They are going well, City. You'd expect them to. They've got really good players. Other teams are going to falter.
So far ahead financially. And they
Yeah.
can just, they can just bring in players from their other clubs for peanuts. Which is just a ridiculous situation. If you've got FFP, what's the point in it when you can just go and buy them with another club? And then
Haven't they brought a
Newcastle.
rule out this week, Tris, to change that?
Well, no, they're
Haven't they
voting
just
on
brought
it, aren't
a...
they? No, they're voting on
Oh,
it.
they're voting on it.
Yeah.
That you can't use players
You can't
from
loan them.
associated clubs.
Yeah, you can't loan players from associated
Yeah.
from associated clubs. You can loan out. So, like, Forest can loan to Olympiacos, but Olympiacos can't loan to Forest. It's it's the way it shouldn't be. You shouldn't be allowed
Yeah,
to
but
loan more than one club.
it's would the votes work because Chelsea have some stake in Strasbourg, so they would probably say no to the rule. Man City probably would say no. Newcastle probably would say no. Forest would say no. Brighton should say no as well because they've got a sister club. So are there enough teams?
It's only loans in, so it wouldn't affect Brighton because they only loan out to it. They don't loan players in from it. They can still transfer them on a permanent deal for nothing. There's nothing.
All right, I don't know the
There's nothing to stop them doing full permanent transfers. It's just loans. So it's
it's just to try and prevent Newcastle from bringing in one of the players that moved to Saudi.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. It's to stop Newcastle replacing Tonali with Neves. So it will be voted. That is literally what it's about. It's because people were panicking that they were just going to bring in Neves. And that would be embarrassing if they did that.
Yeah, but they could, if they really wanted it, they could have just loaned Neves in the summer and not spend money on Tonali.
Yeah, but now they've got him banned, though, is what people are worried about. But I ain't just go and buy someone else. What's the issue for them? It really doesn't matter. And anyway, they could just agree a transfer for £5.
Oh, let's say for 5 million, which they probably can afford on the financial books as well. Play him, then in the summer, if it crumbles like that, then they can loan him to the Saudi club. Then, loan him back.
Exactly. There's no it's not really solving any issue. They just have to, the only way to deal with it is to stop all multi-club ownership from happening. Until that happens, it's just going to be, people are just going to use it as a way to cheat.
What did you think of the goal, Trish, the Newcastle goal?
There was so many things they were looking for. They were desperate to roll it out, weren't they? And I just thought, gosh, if it's not clear and obvious that it should be ruled out, then just get on with it, let it stand and get on with the game. I didn't understand why they had to look at 45 different things in an attempt to rule it out. I don't understand what that was all about.
There was 3 contentious decisions there, wasn't it? There was the ball out, was the offside when he come in, was there a push by Joe Linton, and there was a lot of controversy in that goal. It wouldn't have surprised me if they did rule it out, but the standard of referee, you didn't know whether it was going to be a goal or not. I thought Arsenal were unlucky to concede that because of the 3 things that, was contentious. But I don't think Arsenal deserve to get anything out the game anyway. I don't think they were good enough on the day.
I was surprised at how bad they were. Against Newcastle. I thought they might raise their game up for that game. Like,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just seemed to be they seem to be sinking rather than just strange.
Mm.
Anyway, should we move on to the Sunday games now? Start off with
Yeah, go
Chelsea.
ahead.
I think we can call this a shock result. I think Forest winning 2-0 against Villa.
Yeah, very surprising.
Yeah, Villa
Very
have been going
surprising.
great guns, haven't they? And Forest, obviously, still only they're only really new to the Premier League, and they completely. I mean, they deserved it as well. They were by far the better side. This wasn't wasn't a fluke or anything like that. It was a very well deserved result and good performance by Forest.
But if Villa did miss a few very good chances, though. I know I agree with you that Forest probably deserved to win it, but they did miss a good few chances. But Forest work hard. I said this last week about Forest. They do give their all, very much what I've been saying about Everton. They do work hard for each other, and they're not an easy team to beat at the moment. And I know Liverpool whacked them the week before, lost 3-0. But
that's a bit different.
they do give teams a game, I think they're doing all right for us for what what they're
They've had really
expecting.
bad injuries, which is why Liverpool beat them rather than it's so easily. I mean, they might still have, the chances are you'd expect Liverpool to beat them anyway, but at Anfield. But they had a lot of injuries, which made it into a bit of a routine win. To be fair. Whereas, they got Awoniyi was back for most of the game, and they looked a much better outfit of him. Murillo is looking like a fabulous signing, and that Dominguez, if he can start scoring goals, they've got some player there. That midfielder, I don't know if you've noticed him. He looks a bit of a find as well. Yeah, he just needs to score goals now. Add a few goals to his game. I don't know if you saw any of
they're
his
not a
game.
bad side at all. Are we still on?
Is Seamus still there? Has he gone?
No,
No, he's still on. Did you watch the game, Seamus? Any of the Forest game?
I can't remember, actually.
Yeah, I think you'd remember if you saw it. It was
I didn't watch the goals, that's for sure. But I kind of sort of remember watching the back end of the game, but I'm a bit confused.
Yeah.
Forest look like they're getting together, starting to they're starting to improve. Get their play starting to come together now as the season goes on.
Yeah, I don't think they've got in any danger of getting relegated at the moment.
No.
And they're doing okay. And as I say, a lot of that's down to hard work and organisation. I think they're not a bad side at all. They're not going to win anything, but they're going to give teams a game. And and if you get that through working hard, good luck to them. I hope they do all right first. The keeper, though, the Aston Villa keeper, did you see the mistake he made? Everyone loved him. This fantastic keeper, the best in the world he was railed as. It was bloody awful.
Both goals he was at fault for, to be fair.
Really I thought he was
awful. He had a terrible game. It was a joke him getting best in the world trophy anyway, because he's not playing. He wasn't even before then, but it's just like Messi winning the Balloon d'Or as well. I mean, it's just a joke, isn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, it just doesn't make sense either decision. But yeah,
no.
So. Yeah, I mean, he was at fault for both of the goals, in my opinion. He should be. I think he needs taking down a peg or two. I think he gets too big for his boots. He did this after.
He is a bit of a big head. Yeah,
he came back in. He was a big-headed twat, and
he's not very likable at all, is he? He's so up himself. Yeah,
can't stand him. He's not even a good keeper. He's not a great keeper. I don't understand why he was even in the running for the award. I really do not see see it in him at all. He's a very average. On his best days, he's an average level keeper.
No,
Premier League
he's
keeper.
a decent. He's like you said, he's an average keeper who, with his antics, can get some clips and headlights and highlights for himself.
Mm.
He's never going to be an Arsenal or Pickford, though, is he? Let's be honest about it. He's not going to get. He's not getting in my top five. That's for certain.
Oh, you had to say Pickford. He was sounding good until you said him.
Now, I will say this: he's not the best South American goalkeeper playing in Premier League.
No,
No, not quite.
no, not even close, is he? Let's be honest. You know,
No,
he's not even second best either.
no, no.
No. Anyway, yeah, there's not anything else to add to that. Either of you two got anything to add?
Not really, no.
No.
That was quite a mistake. I remember watching that goal now.
Which one? The second one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the second one.
the big
Yeah.
howler, not
big-
the
that
small
was
howler.
Yeah, that was a massive howler. That one. That's a really bad one. It's one of those ones where you just want the ground to swallow you up, innit?
Or you start cheering because of what he is. Which is what I do.
Yeah, I bet all the watching team. I forgot who they played now. Was it France? What was it? That he was
Yeah,
doing giving the abuse to. I bet they all enjoyed that.
Did you see Mbappe just moved away from him when they were being lined up for the photo? Team
Oh,
of the
did
year.
he?
Yeah, just subtly started just going to the other side. Little by
Yeah,
little.
he's not exactly made himself any friends, has he?
No, he may make a lot of friends, but I highly doubt one of them is gonna be Mbappe.
And there was just no need for his attitude, the way he's acted. There's such a thing as a bad winner as well as a bad loser, and to me that's even
Yeah.
worse. You can understand why someone's a bad loser because they want to win, but when you're a bad winner, that's just that's just embarrassing. Means you're a
Yeah.
3-year-old.
Yeah, so sore loser and sour grapes is one thing. It's
Yeah.
not nice. It's not nice. You don't agree with it, you can understand it, but a sore winner, it's just the worst.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's really embarrassing to be a bad winner. Yeah. Anyway,
Now
shall we move on?
let's go on to the big game of the week.
Yeah, Luton drew.
Oh, Billy must have enjoyed it.
Oh, but he
I
didn't.
think
No, I was going to say, but he didn't.
it's embarrassing, you know. I don't dislike Liverpool at all. I like Liverpool. I like watching them. But I must say they were very poor.
They were
But I'm going to let
awful.
Chris take this and you tell me, Chris, what happened on Sunday night.
Oh, they were just awful. Stupid tactics again. What's with this fucking inverted fullback? You get that, when you've got space out wide, because they're playing compact, they're just stacking in front of staying narrow inside the width of the penalty area. Then nobody's going out wide, so your only space is the width. The only time the goal came from when we got down the flank. The only time we actually really threatened them was when we got wide, and yet what did we do? We just got more and more narrow as the game went on until he made the changes late on, bringing on Elliot and that. That was when but most of the game we just played into their hands and we were just hitting it from long range and hoping a lot of the time. Still, it has to be said, we still should have won easily with the amount of chances we still made, even though we were god awful. I mean, we were truly terrible, but we still created more than enough clear-cut chances. I mean, that Salah one that he knocked instead of just putting it in the back of the net, he knocked it into Nunes, and then Nunes missed. I mean, that alone.
Which one?
The one.
Nunes, which one?
No, it's one about the one Salah nodded. I know Nunes missed a few. He had one of those days Just
Yeah, I'm
nothing
saying
was
for
going for him.
Nunez, which one?
Yeah.
Like
But
you
you've
could take
got
the
one where Salah plays it across. He's got an open goal, but he plays it across to him anyway. That one. I mean, that was.
I don't know whether he played it across or he tried to head it and it just come off the side of his ear. But
I don't
it
know
was
either because
awful.
he had a bad game as well. Salah, he was awful.
Yeah,
In fact,
to
most
be
of the
fair,
team.
quite a few of them had a bad game.
Yeah.
Supposedly, that was his worst game
Yeah, worst game,
in
yeah.
Liverpool's shirt. He was poor.
Gravenberch
McAllister
poor.
hasn't been good at
McAllister's
all.
awful.
Gravenberch was poor. Simicast, when he come up, was poor. And
Gomez.
yeah, I thought
Gomez
Liverpool.
did
Yeah,
all
I
right at
thought a few
first,
of them
getting
had bad
forward, but he
games.
kept having to come. But he just kept cutting back and playing it back when the only space is out one, and then he's just coming back onto his right foot all the time. It was ridiculous, and there was so many problems in that. But the tactics were awful. I just don't understand why it took him so long to change it.
He done well when he come on, to be fair to him. He seemed to change the game when he come on, Elliot. I thought he done all right, actually.
Yeah, he did do well. I like
But
Elliot.
Mo looked awful. Mo looked awful. And I'm a big fan of his, you know what I mean? But he looked awful on Sunday.
Who did?
You know, he just had one of them get Mo Salah, yeah. Mo looked really poor on Sunday.
Yeah,
he just not went for it.
Wrong. Yeah.
You should have
tried and come off. Go on, Deeps.
You should have taken the money when it was offered in the summer.
No, he's been excellent this season. But you've got to say, their goal.
I won't say I watched the game, but I had it on the TV while I was sat in front and just playing with my phone. So my impression is, like you said, of all the games to try and get back to Salah being more central, why choose this one when there's so much more space out wide?
Yeah, exactly.
It was just awful. I mean, the more we needed, Trent Alexander-Arnold, the further, the more obvious it was we needed him to go wide, the more central he became. It was bizarre. It was just really was awful. I mean, it just made no sense. You're watching it, you just think, what's going on? The one thing that particularly struck was how slow McAllister was getting back for their goal. He had every chance of getting back and stopping that, making a challenge, but he was just miles behind the play, never got near it. I mean, not being funny, but it wasn't a really fast break. McAllister was there; he was close enough to interfere with it, but he just didn't catch up at all. I looked at it, and I don't think he made any effort to get back. If you watch it again, I was really disappointed with that. But the one good thing I would say, the positive was it was great to see Luis Diaz back and him score, and it came from
yeah.
Getting down the flank and putting a ball across and then heading it in. That's what we needed to do. Time and time again, there was a chance to do it, and we cut back inside instead. Oh.
Yeah, it was nice for him. I'm happy for him. Bit of respite for him. And, great news that you just announced there, Chris, before about his dad being released by all accounts. And so that's great news, you know what I mean? And I've really felt sorry for Diaz. I think he's a good player. Should have been an Everton player, of course. It's come out this week that Rafa Benitez actually stopped him going to Everton in the 21-22 season when Everton were interested in him. And then he signed for Liverpool.
Agent Rafa. Agent Rafa
is correct. Well, I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no more about that. But yeah, good player, Luis Diaz, and as I say, I'm happy for him. He got his goal, and his dad being released. That's great, yeah. Really good news.
We did miss him because he does provide width. He does get down the flank, and Jota, who was taking his place, was probably the worst player on the pitch. I mean, normally when he plays like that, he usually manages to chime in with a goal. So you can kind of like, how much as you hate to say, you have to say, okay, you put up with it, don't you?
Yeah.
But he was just god awful. He just every touch was just giving it away almost entirely when he even got into the game. But he just spent the game central. I mean, the space is all out wide. Use the fucking space. You know what I mean? Instead of just getting in everybody else's way. Because he was in the way.
Yeah,
He was always in the way of everybody else playing. That was all he did.
yeah,
He offered.
yeah. I mentioned all the players who had a bad game, but he was probably one of the worst as well, Jota.
He was shocking. Virgil van Dijk actually played quite well. To be fair,
Yeah, Van Dijk done really well. Yeah, he's done
and
really well.
Konate wasn't bad, but like they didn't really have a lot to do. Let's be honest. And Alisson, all he had to do was a couple of corners. He punched to clear, and that was about it really.
He made one really good save in the second half.
Oh yes,
he made really one good
yes.
save in the second half, which would have been put the Catamount. Yeah, yeah. Which would have put the Catamount for pigeons, but you know, he can be called on to make saves like that, you know, because he's the best keeper in the league. But yeah, I was disappointed with Liverpool.
Oh, you finally admitted it.
Oh no, he is the best keeper. I've never said that he isn't the best keeper in the world. He is the best keeper in the world, Alisson.
But I thought he wasn't even the best keeper in Merseyside.
That's debatable. It's still debatable, but we'll go into that another time.
God.
No, disappointed with Liverpool. They were there for the taking. Liverpool had loads of chances. The enigma that is Nunes, you know, he's so frightening at times. He had a couple of really good efforts that the keeper made, a couple of good saves there. But he misses so many chances. He's so frustrating at times to watch, but he is a handful for any defence. He's so quick and he's so direct. And if he had the shooting boots on, he'd be one of the best players in the league. There's no doubt about that for me. But he misses a lot of chances and he's a bit frustrating, especially for the supporters. And but you know, he gets in them positions and he's really good. He's quick. He's so quick. And when he hits a ball, it stays hit. But he misses a lot of chances. He is an enigma. He really is. He is an enigma.
The more I watch him, like I have three things to say about him. One, someone needs to tell him to slow down at times, especially when he's striking. Another is like stay calm. And the third thing is, although he gets compared to Suarez, he's like the reason of Edinson Cavani.
Yeah, I'd say he's more like him. Yeah, he just misses some chance after chance that you think he's got to score, and then he'll slap away one that you're thinking there's no chance. Like that one last week where he's taken a terrible touch. The crowd's laughing at him, and then he just he just sticks the middle finger up to him, don't he? While he's sticking it in the back of the net. It's like you just watch that, you think, wow, you know.
Are you still calling tactics, Tris? Is that what you're saying about Liverpool at the moment? Tactics are wrong. Is that why Liverpool are not top of the league because of tactics?
Well, I think the officials had a bit.
No, it's because of Pep.
To be fair, but
no, it's because of Pep.
But yeah, the main problem is the tactical approach has been awful, and they've been having to fight back and win games despite them rather than because of them, which isn't how it should be. If your tactics should be winning you the games, not nearly costing you them.
If they seem to have conceded the first goal in a lot of games, you know, they've come from behind on numerous occasions this year. Must be 4 or 5 times they give the team a goal start and then come back when they changed it to win the game or at least get a draw. And why doesn't he start on that footing rather than revert to it when they're a goal down? It's a bit surprising to me because I rate Klopp, but I think he's got to do something about the setup for me.
Stop listening to Pep Linders. He hasn't got a fucking clue. That's why he's back at Liverpool in the first place, because he was sacked for being useless tactically. So why he's being listened to? I mean, this experiment of playing McAllister as a deep lying midfielder, It's just
Yeah. Why not just play Endo?
Yeah. Oh,
Why not just play it? It might do him a bit of good to drop him out the firing line for a bit, McAllister, because his body language doesn't look great. He looks fed up where he is. He doesn't play with a smile on his face, and it's not working for him. It's just not working for him at the moment. And I think he needs taken out for the last spell. Put Endo in, for me. Put Endo in, a proper defensive midfielder, and see how that goes. And, if you can fit him in, all well and good. If you can't, you've got to do what's best for the team and leave him on the sidelines.
Yeah, but
He's just not at his place.
Yeah, but he's not number 6.
No, he isn't. I'm not blaming him. Deeps, that's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is, they need a defensive midfielder in that setup. And they've got one. They've got Endo there who can do that, who hasn't had a real chance yet. And why not take McAllister out?
He's played in the cup games and European games, to be.
Yeah.
He seems to be rotating the team, playing one team in the league and one team in the cup games. You know what I mean? I mean, look at the side tonight, for instance. Tonight it's Kelleher, Gomez, Matip, Kwanzaa, Tsimikas, Endo. McAllister's playing in front of him. Obviously, he's banned at the weekend. Elliott, Doak, Diaz, and Kakpo. He seems to be rotating it, playing different sides depending on the competition.
Yeah, Kakpo's gone off the ball completely, hasn't he?
He got injured. He lost his place. He got injured, so he was. He's. Yeah. So,
yeah, but he's been fit for a few weeks, but not really played much in the league.
It's difficult to get back in a team, when noon, until this week, Liverpool were going well in terms of results, even if they weren't playing particularly well. The goal score, the attack's been doing well. It's just the midfield that's struggling, isn't it? McAllister in the main. You know what I mean? And
I feel sorry for him, don't get me wrong. I do feel sorry for McAllister because I thought he was going in as the number 8, and he's playing as a number 6, and that's not his bag. And so I feel a bit sorry for him because I think he's a good attacking midfielder, but I don't think he's a very good defensive midfielder. And he's getting played out of position, so you can't really blame him. But he is a footballer, and he's not quick enough, and he's letting the ball come to him instead of going to the ball at times. And it makes him look like a bad player, and we all know that he's not a bad player.
And he's taking, he dallies on the ball as well, and then he's just not got the right mindset to play defensively. He's always caught wrong side of things. I mean, he's seen stats where he's won so many duels, made so many tackles, in other words. But it just reminds me of when they were saying that your Ghana guy was better than N'Golo Kante a few years back because he made more tackles than him. And I'm thinking, no, he's made more tackles because he's not as good. If he'd been as good, he'd have been positioned better, and it wouldn't, he wouldn't have needed to make the tackle.
Yeah.
And that's how it feels for me with McAllister. He's getting caught out of position so much, he's having to throw himself into challenges he shouldn't be needing to make.
Yeah, I can see that, Chris. I can see that.
So, anyway, should we move on to the... by the way, Liverpool game's kicking off soon, if you watch it.
Okay. I will be in a bit.
5 minutes, yeah. So, Tottenham Hotspur, Chelsea on the Monday night.
Wow. That's all I can say about that. Wow. 5 disallowed goals, was it? 2 sendings off. That Romero, he's an accident waiting to happen, isn't he? Alec Postecoglou have been loading him up all season. But, his players are very top, still very sparsy, aren't they? They went 1-0 up. Kulusevski. Kulusevski, good goal. And
nice pronunciation. Good job.
Yeah, and to get beat 4-1 by Chelsea is a very poor result. They're still not a good side, are they? They still don't. Jackson got away with more than he scored loads of goals, but I don't think he's the answer anyway. But
Oh,
did
but
you watch the game?
that was amazing tactics when they went down to 9 men.
Yeah, play the eye line, yeah, and get caught.
Well, why
You know
is
what?
Rooney
Oh.
Chelsea should have brought Mudryk on. I don't know whether
Mm.
he was on or not. They should have brought him on, told him to like chip the ball from behind the halfway line and fetch his own pass.
Yeah,
Then
just
he
run
could have
into it.
made it.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
is that bloody quick. He's not shown to be that good, but he's that bloody quick. So he could have made it as well.
Easily. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
understand why they're lauding Postecoglou. And you know, I like Postecoglou. This isn't like me having a chance to have a dig at him, because I like him. I think he's a really good coach. But what are you doing? You're down to 9 men. You don't play a high line. You drop off. You get compact, and you just hold on and just try and see out the game, don't you?
yeah, you'd think so.
But
But
that is what happened. That is kind of sort of what happened. He tried to like overcomplicate and outsmart his opposition, and then ended up conceding 3 goals to Nicholas Jackson, who apparently did a silence the hater and everything.
I mean, he's just not a good. So when he's scoring 3 against you, you know you're doing something wrong, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. They still don't look a great side, do they? We could always on the counter attack against a line that high, but before that, they looked awful.
Yeah, they didn't look. They don't look like they're ready.
Maybe I'd be really interested to see them try that against Man City and Haaland.
Yeah. Could you imagine
Give him that much space.
Haaland, they'd have to take it off. Take him off at half time to take him off just to give them a chance because
Yeah,
the
fair
score
point,
would be
fair point.
ridiculous. It'd look like a cricket match otherwise, wouldn't it? By the end of it, is there a point? Because in some sports you have a point where if you get so far ahead, they call it there and then. You know what I mean? Because like if you'd played that against Haaland, you would be looking at getting to that point. Even someone like Lukaku, he's not a good footballer, but put him in on a foot, chasing behind, and he's going to score hatfuls of goals as well. Players like that,
Imagine 9 Spurs players trying to push up, and then Lukaku can.
It's just
Maybe we should try and arrange something like that to happen. Come on, that would be interesting.
It's insane. I mean, Postecoglou's got to take the blame for that defeat. I'm sorry, you know what I mean, for the manner of it. I mean, for being that big defeat, rather than taking the plaudits for being brave. No, he was stupid. There's a thin line between stupidity and bravery, and he went over it into stupidity in that match. I'm afraid.
Yeah, I agree with that, Trish. Yeah.
And I like him, I do. So, I don't like to say it. It's a bit like picking at Klopp. I hate to have to do it, but this season, last season, I seem to be all I ever do, and it's really frustrating because I don't want to. I want to say how great they are rather than how bad they are.
Yeah, but the 2 sendings off were sendings off. Like I must admit, like they got nothing wrong there. But Tottenham, as you say, the tactics were terrible by Postecoglou. To play that higher line against anyone, against any team, you're always going to get caught out, especially with 9 men. And it was a bit of a farce in the end, wasn't it? I'm sure the supporters weren't happy about that.
Yeah, they mustn't have been. If they were, then I don't understand what they were watching. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was poor by Tottenham.
So we're moving on to the European games now.
Yeah, go on, mate.
Where are we? Tuesday the 7th is. We'll just do the games involving Premier League sides. Borussia Dortmund giving Newcastle a bit of a spanking. Did either of you see it?
No, I didn't watch the game though. I seen the goals, but by all accounts, Dortmund were by far the better side, and I think they beat them at home as well, didn't they? So they've got their measure, and I'm quite content with that. Dortmund beating Newcastle.
Yeah,
Not a big
after
Newcastle fan.
here the early game they showed Lazio Feyenoord, so I watched that one, and then they showed Man City Young Boys, so I went to bed.
Yeah, as you would.
Interesting, thank you. Yeah.
Oh, was it Man City Young Boys or Young Boys Man City?
Man City Young Boys.
Ah.
Yeah,
They were at home. It was.
yeah.
That's what I mean. It's
No,
not
Hey,
because-
not a week off.
No,
I would. Not interested.
I would have said you should have watched the game if it was at the wanked off.
Yeah, because it's in the Wankdorf. You got to watch it, haven't you?
Whoever came up with that name for the Young Boys Stadium.
Brilliant. Speaking of stadiums, have either of you seen the Braga Stadium?
No, they played Madrid, didn't they? They played Madrid.
Yeah, they played Madrid at
midweek,
home last
yeah.
week. This week they played in Madrid, like. But last week they
Yeah.
played. I'd seen the pictures of it. I'd never realised. I mean, I knew who Braga was, but I didn't know what the stadium was like until I seen pictures of it last week. It's cut into a mountain. It's
All
literally
right, no, I haven't
just-
seen it. No.
It's just like on the mountainside, like, and there were people watching. We just stood on the mountain, looking down at it. Ones that couldn't get tickets, we just up on the mountain. It's like, wow, it looked incredible, really did. It's one of those places, you know, that you want to add. You know, when you do a bucket list, the ball's kicked off now. Yeah, you have a bucket list of places you want to see before you die, and that's now become one of them because it looked fabulous. It really did. Look like one of the most interesting stadiums on it I've ever seen. So,
All right. Talking about Man City, they had a week off this week, didn't they? They played Sheffield United and they played Young Boys. They had a week off.
easy.
No,
They're fully
no.
rested.
And they
Go
had
on,
2
Dave.
weeks off because they had United the week before. So they've had it.
Oh, yeah.
They played Young Boys the other leg, and Man United, it's been the easiest couple of weeks. They've been on vacation, haven't they? Bless them.
yeah, but just a quick correction, Billy. They played Bournemouth this week, not Sheffield.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Sorry, not
Good
Sheffield.
point.
Bournemouth, you're
Yeah,
right.
But should we just give a little mention to AC Milan PSG?
Oh yeah, they
Everything
beat
around
it.
Shakhtar
Yeah,
Donetsk beating
the Milan ultras throwing fake Donnarumma bills at him. Then Donnarumma doing a miniole. Did you watch that
Oh, it was
goal?
awful.
The ball was coming straight at him. He jumped out of it, like out of the way.
No, honestly, Bill, you need to watch it. It's one of those where you,
No, I've never seen it, mate.
he got out of the way of it. It
If
was,
he
it was like watching Mignolet.
If he stood still without moving any muscle, the ball would have stayed out. He jumped out away from the ball, trying to use his hands to save it. I don't know why.
No, I haven't seen that. I'll have a look at that.
Yeah.
I will have a look at that.
And that goal from PSG, the opening goal was a horrendous corner defense from Milan as well.
Yeah. I was going to say the other results that Shakhtar beating Barcelona is a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, 1-0, yeah.
So, what else? Though they're struggling, Barcelona and Real Madrid, aren't they? Because City Group's Girona is top of the La Liga this year, so at the moment.
All right.
So obviously they're benefiting from having City some billions behind them, so it's a bit of an help, like. But yeah, what else? Atleti thrashing Celtic. They had a nice, easy game, 6-0 win.
Yeah, 6-0, yeah. That was a bit of a... They had a man sent off Celtic, didn't they? Don't know what he got sent off.
Speaking of this game, did you guys watch the Saul Niguez goal? What was that goalkeeping from Hart as well? He was, I would say he was halfway inside his goal, at least.
Oh, when he was behind the line, yeah.
Yeah, behind the line.
What was he doing? That was shocking.
No positional awareness at all.
Oh, just at the bar. Looked like Gomez. It can't be. It must have been Matty. I didn't see. I was looking at the score. Looking at the scores. Looked away for a second, and we hit the fucking bar. It's typical, isn't it? Yeah. That was awful goalkeeping. But then he's not a very good goalkeeper. So
No,
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Arsenal beat Sevilla. A very good goal from Bukayo Saka. Maybe an indication of him getting back to some form as well.
Yeah. I'm happy for him to score.
It was a very good
I
goal.
like him.
It was a very good goal.
I watched the
Yeah.
Napoli Union Berlin one. They finally I don't know if you've seen their season. After last season, they did so well. This season, they've been off, I think, 15 games on the trot they'd lost or something ridiculous like that before last night when they
Really, yeah.
drew 1-1 against Napoli. And they actually really, I mean, they gave their all. They all the players were really, absolutely out on their feet by the last 20 minutes or so because they run themselves into the ground, and I was really pleased they managed to get the result there finally because quite a likeable side, Union, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I think we should wrap it up now and watch the Liverpool game. I don't know about you, but
You don't want to mention the
I could do with
FC
watching that game.
Copenhagen Man United game? Well,
Oh, yeah, go on, we'll mention that then before we go.
Harry Kane can't stop scoring. Jude Bellingham was half injured, but still.
It was Joe Gomez hit the bar. Thank you, Taurus.
Yeah, they,
I think
that result United that.
Bye. No more talk
Okay,
about football.
Can we talk about the sending off? Do you think it was a sending off, the Rashford one? Because I watched it and I think at full speed, not a sending off at all. Just one of those is just a bit unlucky, you know what I mean? He just catches him. It's accidental. I don't even, it's not like he's deliberately stamped on his foot. Yes, he's landed on his foot and it's a foul. Definitely, 100%. There's no argument that it's a foul, but it's not a deliberate stamp on his foot. He's just caught his foot trying to shield the ball. It's accidental. For me, I'm not sure that that's a red card at all. I just don't see it.
I can't actually say I've seen the game. It wasn't something I'd want to watch, but
me.
Bad result for Manchester United. They got 2-0 up, pulled back to 2-2. I know they had a man sent off, don't get me wrong, Rashford off. And then went 3-2 up, and then to get beat 4-3. I thought it was they'd actually won 3-2. I'd say I was watching it on the computer, not live, but the commentary on the computer. And I thought they'd won 3-2, and I couldn't believe it when I got up this morning. They were actually lost 4-3.
Yeah, it was a really bad result with them.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Which means that they haven't improved any, have they? Everyone thought the Fulham game might have been a turning point for them. And it turns out it wasn't really. They're still as bad as ever.
They started well, didn't they? Well, so it's just it all fell apart after the sending off. They just seem to it's the typical still Man United are very spazy. Their players just fold like a pack of it's like a cheap suit when it just falls apart when things are going against them.
Yeah.
There's no fight in that team, no leadership, no drive or desire.
No, they look a very poor outfit to me. Right, boys, I'm going to watch the game. So thank you very much for today. It's been really interesting. And I shall see you next Thursday.
See you next Thursday.
Ta-ra, peeps. Ta-ra, Chris.
Enjoy your
Ta-ra,
day.
boys.
See you next Thursday, Billy. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Ta-ra, boys.
I don't know if you want to do a watch along or just call it there.
Call it.
Okay.
Night for me. Good night. Bye-bye.
We'll see you
next Thursday.
Bye. Well,
I hope you also lose 4-3 or 8-0, whichever one.
Oh, you're such a nice boy, aren't you? So bitchy these days. What happened to you? You used to be such a nice kid. Yeah.
Bye-bye. Take care,
Bye all.
Trace.
Take care. Right, let's